In today's class, we will study cohort study. What is meant by cohort study, types of cohort study, advantages, disadvantages, and conclusion that we'll study in today's class. This topic is present in BMS third phase syllabus research subject. In that fifth chapter, fourth topic is cohort study. Cohort study simple meaning is that detective report is called cohort study. It means that keeping eye on the specific group for long period of time and the conclusion, the whether this is the cause it is there. Simple meaning is the for cause and effect. What is the cause for particular thing is that for that the searching the causative factor, this study we are doing. It is also called cohort study is also called as a longitudinal study because it will take long period of time. That's why its another name is longitudinal study. It is among them one type longitudinal study. Now the definition in that the cohort study is an observational study. It means that the researcher not at all do any intervention. Just the researcher is only observing whatever the things are happening. The observational, analytical, the analyzing what is going on, and epidemiological study. It means that the why it is that epidemiology it is their study where group of individuals. The cohort meaning is that group of individual sharing common characteristic is followed by over time. It means that the same common characteristic that the for long period of time we are observing followed over time to observe occurrence of outcome. What is the outcome? Whether like disease, death, or recovery. Whether after long period in that particular group the disease is produced or the death occurred or they are recovered. For that purpose the study is nothing but the cohort study. The definition is that a cohort study is an observational study, analytical and epidemiological study where group of individuals are called cohort sharing common characteristic is followed over time to observe the occurrence of outcome like disease, death, recovery. This is called cohort study. The cohort study is mainly two types. One is the prospective study, another one is the retrospective study. Prospective study is nothing but the for long period of time, the from present to future, that we are observing the participant or the in the groups. The prospective studies participants are followed from present day into the future. This is the prospective study. Retrospective study is nothing but the past history or the previous things we are searching. For example, take one example. In your hospital the cancer patient is came, you are asking the history whether you are worked in any chemical industries or in your surrounding any type of air pollution it is there, like that. In the lung cancer patients, if you are asking something that is comes under the asking the past thing or searching the records of any in the hospital records or any industrial records, that is comes under the previous searching is retrospective cohort study. In that the both exposure and outcome have already occurred the time study of begins. So this is the retrospective study. The next two steps involved, because you are a researcher, in that if you want to study the what are the steps are we have to follow for the cohort study. The first thing is the selection of the participants, the selection of the study populations. In that, suppose if you are doing the research example lungs cancer, if you are doing study, in that searching the patients in there, two groups you are separating. One is the smokers groups, another is non-smoker groups. Two groups if you are searching, that is exposed and exposed you have to consider as a example smoker. Non-exposed, that is non-smoking groups, you have to separate and select it. In the second step, assess it nothing but you have to ask the each and everything's there, whether you are asking whether you are smoking or not, or any other diseases are there, bp, sugar, anything. If you are asking, that is you are assessing for the exposure status. Next is follow up over time. After long period, every years, every few years, you are regularly you are doing follow up, you are writing the these things. This is the follow up over time. Next is the observation of outcome. After few years, take 5 years, 10 years, or 15, 20 years, after long period of times, what is the outcome it will come that you are observing. Analysis, after the last step is the analysis. If the particular thing is there, the what is the cause that you are searching. It means that cause and effect relation, for searching for the relation you are doing this study. That's why the analyzing things and comparison of outcome incidence between two groups. Just now the exposure and non-exposure groups you are comparing. These are the 5 steps in the this cohort study. Okay, the next one is the measures obtained. What are the measures you have to see while you are doing the cohort study? The first one is the incidence rate. Incidence rate is nothing but in the particular time period, the how many people suffered. Same example I will take. Suppose you have to consider in these years the how many lung cancer patients came to your hospital. Like that, the incidence rate, or in your district or in your state, like that, the particular time period, the how many incidence rate is there, that you are recording. That is the incidence rate. Relative rate. Relative rate means nothing but comparing the exposure and non exposures participant, in that the how many relatively, the how many in that the patient's exposure patient in the lung cancer is occurred. That is the you are comparing the relations. Next is the attribute rate. Suppose in that, what is the exposed groups. Suppose the smoking groups, in that how many people are suffering the lung cancer. This is the attribute. Based on the particular things you are searching, the doing the conclusion. It is the attribute risk. In simple meaning is the incidence rate is nothing but the how many people are suffering. Relative risk is nothing but the from non-exposure to exposure, how many patients are there. Attribute is nothing but due to the particular cause, the how many peoples in that the disease produced. This is attribute rate. Now the advantage of this cohort study, if you are doing the cohort study, what is the advantages are there? The first one, can establish temporal relations, the cause and effect relations for establishing purpose in the particular time period, the why this event or why this disease is produced. For that, for concluding, you are doing the can establish temporal relation. Next one is the good for studying rare exposure. In particular area, one village, the how many, suppose same lung cancer, in that you are selecting rare exposure. In that, the suppose another example you take, that is in the chemical industry. Suppose the 10 people they are working in the chemical industry, among them how many they are suffering from that cancer, you are searching. That is the good for the studying rare exposures only, the few exposure. What is the that you are studying advantage. Next, you can study multiple outcome for single exposure. What it means, multiple exposure is nothing but while you are studying for more than 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, not only you are observing the one things. Take example, not only the lung cancer you are observing, patient may suffer from heart diseases, patient may suffer from any other disease occur, like it may be stroke or any other diseases. That also we can multiple outcome also we can study in this single cohort study. Okay, this is the advantage. Next is the disadvantages. The first is time consuming, it will take lots of the times, and next, expensive, it will take lots of the money, and loss of follow-up can affect validity, because of the patients participants are not at all interested, or they change their cities, they change their phone numbers. Due to that, the follow-up is not possible. That's why for a long period of time the cohort study is very difficult. That's one of the disadvantages. Not suitable for rare disease, not suitable for rare disease. Suppose again I will take the one example, cancer only. Suppose in one village one patient, another village another cities, like that, the searching the patients and making groups, this is a very difficult task, not suitable for rare diseases. Next is the last is the example is that same example, smoking and non-smoking groups. You have to take the suppose thousands groups, smokers and non-smokers, 1,000 groups, two groups. If you are comparing for a long period of times, you are searching the cause. So cause, for that, the in the exposure groups, how many patients in that the lung disease produce, and the non-smokers how many the lung disease produce, that you are comparing. For that is the that type of study is nothing but the cohort study. That is the cohort of smoker and non-smoker followed for 10 years. Compare the incidence of lung cancer is nothing but this is one of the example of the cohort study. Hope you understood. If you like this video, please subscribe channel, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.